Welcome to Living in Beauty. It's Saturday, April 28th, 2018, day 649 on the road, and we're in Chula Vista, California. In small spaces, it's important that everyone get along. Relationships thrive on communication, so Carmen and I talk about everything. Well, food mostly. In fact, just a couple of days ago, Carmen said, "BLT?" And I said, "Please." Great dialogue, memorable and digestible. Who says the French are verbose? Victor Hugo and his publisher had the shortest recorded written exchange in history. Within weeks after Les Mis was released, Hugo inquired with a simple question mark, and his publisher responded with an exclamation point. So, back to the BLT shorthand. Carmen takes the bacon out of the freezer, lights up the stove, and switches on the range hood fan. Then I put on my headset because the fan soaks up the acoustic environment, making so much racket it's like chewing ice and blow-drying your hair at the same time. The efficient, standard tri-blade moves air like a boss, expelling heat and fumes from the trailer. But the electromechanical soundscape dominates the space. Now, some folks would say, so what? Chill on Pandora and smell the bacon. Food is a language in itself. But Carmen likes to talk when she's cooking, and there's a reason for that. Like avocado. When she says, "You want avocado on that?" you want to hear her so that you can nod or thumbs up so you get avocado on that. Because if you don't, you might not get avocado on that, and that's all I'm saying about that. But our friend Larry Cook saved our bacon. Larry and Jackie sold us our beauty back in 2015, and while on a recent visit, they showed us some upgrades to their 34-foot Airstream. Larry replaced his Airstream factory fan with quieter technology. This fan, the SAM-1, abandons the usual standard tri-blade for a squirrel cage. Whoa, what a difference! It's like our fan had an adenoidectomy. So now, Carmen doesn't have to yell, "Want avocado on that?" We're just back to yelling about the normal stuff like, "Where's my socks?" Okay, so here's the fix. First, I remove the 4 screws that hold the range hood assembly in place, being very careful not to disturb the wiring, and gently lower the hood without unhooking the wiring. Then, carefully disconnect the 2 conduits. Outside, I cover the picnic table with a soft towel to protect the black finish. This is my workbench. I take out the 4 screws holding the old tri-blade fan in place and turn the fan upright on its side to get a good look at the wiring. The hood has 4 control switches, 2 for the fan and light, another for the water pump, and a test switch to check the battery condition, fresh water tank, black water tank, and the gray water tank levels, plus fuel levels for the 2 propane tanks. Wires come out from 2 locations to supply all 4 control switches. There is a large bundle of wires which appear to be exclusively for the monitoring system, so I won't disturb those. I'm focusing on the 4 wires going to the fan and light. The fan has black and white wires, and the light has red and white wires. There's also a ceramic rectangular brick on the right side of the fan enclosure with 3 wires, blue, black, and white. That ceramic brick is a resistor to allow for 2-speed control of the fan. I'll ignore those 3 wires and not disturb the resistor. I cut the red and white wires to the light and the black and white wires to the fan, and remove about a 1/2 inch of wire protection from each of the 4 wires to expose the ends. Then, attach the 2 original white wires to the single white wire on the new fan, and attach the red wires together, and of course the black wires. All quite logical. But the exhaust shaft on the new fan doesn't match the exhaust hole on the hood assembly. The new fan's exhaust is 3 inches high, but the hole in the hood assembly is only 2 inches high. After some instruction from Scott at Adonan's Supply, I go outside and cut away the vent that does not align. But then the triangular supports for the vent holes protrudes, stopping the new fan from resting correctly in place. Using tin snips, I cut off the triangular supports and make room for the new fan. The modification created a baffle effect so the exhaust can move unhindered through the hood assembly vent to the outside vent. I attach the original 4 screws back into the fan assembly and slip in the foam gasket provided, and go back into the kitchen to test the fan and the light. The wires were reversed. I messed up. Back to the picnic table. Again, I cut the 2 red wires and the 2 black wires and reverse them so the red goes to the black and the black to the red. One more time, back to the kitchen. Yes, the hood controls show the fan and the light controls are correct. Okay, the vents are aligned. The fan and light look correct. It's showtime. With the hood assembly on the stove, I connect the 2 wiring plugs. Then, careful of the wiring, I raise the hood into place, making sure the hood vent lines up with the outside vent. And the last bit, attach the hood to the cabinet with the 4 original screws. One last check to make sure everything works, including the monitors. Voila! Done. BLTs with avocado for everyone. Thank you for joining us at Living in Beauty. If you like this post and want to be notified when a new one is released, please enter your email address and click the follow button at the bottom of this page. That's it for now. See you next time.